I just keep killing my plants. What is this plant called again? Wait, I forgot to water again. If you've experienced any of that, don't worry, I got you and my ginger coffee here today. That spice is so good. So I started getting plants from my last job because I was really stressed out, and plants just felt like some sort of natural therapy for me. I started off with this monstera in the background, and since then I just got super addicted. I killed all of my plants. Not just one, all of my plants. But I told myself, this time I'm not gonna let that happen again. So I created this Notion layout to help me stop killing my plants. And today I want to show you how I do it, and you can do the same. Super easy and super useful. Look at my monstera thriving in the background. It's so beautiful. I got it from Trader Joe's. Welcome to my Notion layout. Woohoo! I added a beautiful little aesthetic, I think this was Van Gogh, cover to it. It's sort of just included in the Notion presets. And I also added a weather widget to it. I will link the widget down below so you can add it yourself as well. All you do is add a new embed and then you add in the link, and there you go. Weather is heavily related to plants. For example, if it's a sunny day, you might consider watering your plants a little more. If it's a shady day, then you're fine. Super important to have the weather widget on the top. Next is my plant database. This is a database of every single one of my plants. I did heavy research for each and every one of them because I really don't want to kill them again. I'm like traumatized from killing my previous plants. I go on YouTube or go on the internet and I browse through all of these documentation about the specific plant that I bought. So for example, with my monstera here in the background, got from Trader Joe's. Immediately after I bought it, I just went onto YouTube to watch, people's tips about growing monstera. And so I created this table, which is just a database. And for example, here I have different categories like light, water, water notes, fertilizer, fertilizer notes, because each plant basically has different water needs. Each plant also have different fertilizer needs. And then I also have soil notes. I also have the soil mix notes. I also have flowering or harvest. Obviously you can't harvest with a monstera, but I consider slits as harvesting. And then I also have the Latin there. Then I have the plant birthdays, which is when I bought the plant. Propagate, can stay in water, and last potted. And I also added here ideal foot candles, but I just didn't have time to look into that yet. Really been helpful to me, so whenever I am confused or I forget what a plant needs, I just come back here and I look at my database. Next up, we have the care schedule. So this is actually linked to my overall to-do list, but essentially what I added here is whether or not a plant needs watering or fertilizing. So if I fertilize a plant today, I'm gonna note that down here. So right here you can see that I fertilized the white velvet on Thursday. And I read on the internet that you should fertilize this plant, let's see, back to my little database, once every 2 weeks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste this to do, open it, change the date to 2 weeks in the future. And I also will set a reminder on day of event, uncheck. And now I just created myself a new to-do in the future to fertilize my white velvet. And usually if I've watered something, I will just make a note. So I actually watered my peace lily. I also watered my asparagus fern, but I forgot to note it down here. So I just copy and pasted that to make a note of when I watered the plant. And this is really helpful in the future to just look back at and see, oh, how often did I water a specific plant? Next, I added a plant to-do list. So this is all of the things that I want to do in relation to my plant in the future. I have two different views, by the way. So one is listed in the card view and one is listed in a to-do list view. Just depends on what I want to see. So for example, listed moss terrarium as last Friday. I actually did that already, but I need to redo it because there's mold in my moss terrarium. And I also have propagate monstera in June. So this is very far off in the future, but essentially I just want to propagate my monstera and put it in water and see if it will grow. Just want to let this little baby grow a little bit more before I propagate it though, which is why I listed it as June. This database is also connected to my overall to-do list so that I can see these tasks in my calendar as well. And essentially what I did is I decided to filter out one of my categories, which I called goals. Next, I have a lighting reference here. I found this diagram super helpful for my east-facing window. So here, if I ever forget what the hell direct sunlight mean or what the hell bright and direct light mean, then I'll just look back at this diagram to refer to it. Next, I added this lighting situation. I have a bunch of plants outside my bathroom, which I was curious, oh, what is the foot candle? Foot candle is essentially how bright that specific area is. Different plants want different lighting situation. So I used this light meter app on my phone to measure out the foot candle outside my bathroom, and I just noted it down here. And in the future, if I ever want to measure a different area, then I'll use the light meter again to note it down here so that I won't forget. And next I added what plant zone I am in. I'm in San Francisco currently, so I'm in 10B. I just listed some homemade fertilizer that I can make at home if I ever don't want to buy outside fertilizers and I don't want to forget the recipe. This one is a new database that I created. Next up, I also have my plant wish lists. I highly doubt I will do any of this. I just listed it down here, just why not? But I already spent way too much money on my plants, so I don't want to, definitely don't want to do any of this yet. And finally down here, I have my plant money tracker, I guess. So I just wanted to note down how much money I spend on each of my plants, my supplies, and I want to make sure it doesn't go over budget because right now $300 was the initial budget I set for myself. I bought a few more things after this, so I've definitely gone over the $500 mark, which is a lot. I don't even want to post this so because my parents are gonna see it and my parents are gonna be like, you spent $500 on plants. Yeah, I'm pretty sure normally my parents would just put whatever food scraps into plant fertilizers, but you know, I had to buy charcoal, I had to buy pots, I had to buy all these things to make my plants beautiful as well as growing, and I don't know, that's why I spent so much money. Okay, don't judge me. Don't. But yeah, this is essentially my plant workspace. Plants really are great. I didn't even realize how rewarding plants are until I bought the monstera and I saw that the leaves are just popping out one by one. Like I would go to bed and then the next day there's a new leaf and you notice that there's a new leaf and it makes you so happy. Like it really just reminds me that in life, you know, there's no shortcut to anything. Just like how you can't over-fertilize a plant. I think plants really are like metaphors for us humans, our lives, whatever. And I just love this constant reminder that, you know, whatever you want to be successful in, you have to really put in small efforts every single day to cultivate whatever you want to become. And so I love that plants give me this reminder. I definitely tried really hard previously to, you know, really go all in at once, and then I realized that, oh my god, that did not work. So plants are a great reminder. They clean the air, they give you pops of little green all throughout your day, and I just love how beautiful they look. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you found this helpful. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything you want me to go over again. I hope I didn't make this too confusing. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you watch this next video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because I realize that 98% of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. This will really help me in the future, and I'll see you next time. Bye!